Making hard boom bap beats using only 6 sounds is a balancing act. You need both great sound selection and an interesting structure to make your beat sound full. It's your boy Mejia Made, and in today's video, I'll show you how to make your beats simple but effective.
It's Mejia May.
Alright y'all, so let's get started with this breakdown. I'm gonna first start off by playing an 8-bar loop of this beat so you can listen to what I'm about to break down. As we can tell by the playlist, this beat is very simple. Like I mentioned earlier, this beat consists of only 6 sounds. So what are those 6 sounds that I'm using? They are the kick, snare, sample, and 3 different bass lines. Let's start off with the kick. I really like this kick because it's very low and heavy and it has a nice texture to it. Next up, we have this snare that nicely complements the sound of the kick. For this beat, I didn't think a hi-hat was necessary, so I just left it alone. Let's listen to what we have so far, which is the kick and snare. So far, what I want you guys to pay attention to is the sound selection. I have a really great kick and snare to start off. With the kick and snare out the way, it's time to get to the sample chop. For this one, I didn't want to get too crazy with my sample chops. I wanted to keep it very simple, so it's only one chop that loops throughout the whole beat. It sounds like this. For me, I love samples like this because it's a great 1-bar loop. Sometimes we tend to want to over chop our samples, but in this case, by keeping my chop simple, it really let the other elements of my beat stand out a lot more. So currently, we're halfway there. We already got 3 out of the 6 sounds out the way. But this part is essential. This part is where the beat starts to get really interesting. With the last 3 sounds, let's start off with the first bass line and see what it's doing. So you guys can get a better context of what this first bass is doing, let's go ahead and hear it along with the kick and snare. And this is the second part of being able to make hard boom bap beats using only 6 sounds, which is the structure. What makes this bass interesting is that we begin with the bass hitting on the 1. And then for the second part of the bar, I took out one of the notes. So off the top, we're getting a very interesting rhythm between the bass and the kick and snare. Another part of what makes this bass interesting is the slider notes. It's little subtle things like that that can make your bass lines more interesting. But we're not done there. That was only the first bass line. What the second bass line is doing is a lot more simple, but in my opinion, it's a lot more effective because now I'm adding a different element to the beat. Let's listen to what it sounds like. What I want you guys to realize is that when you keep your beats simple, you want certain elements in your beat to remain interesting. For this beat specifically, it's the fact that I use 3 different bass lines. It doesn't have to be the same for your beat. You may choose to make your drum patterns more interesting and keep your sample chops simple, or the other way around, keeping your sample chops interesting but keeping your drums simple. In order to be able to keep your beats simple but effective, there has to be a standout element in your beat. At first, it's gonna be difficult because as you're making a beat, you're gonna have to ask yourself, how can I make this beat more interesting? But the more you do it, it's only gonna become second nature. I'm at the point now as a producer where it has become second nature to me to use different interesting elements within my beats. I don't even think about it anymore. And now for the 6th and final sound, we have this third bass. I really like this bass line because unlike the first 2 basses, it gives a different feel to the 1-bar piano sample. With this third bass line having different notes from the first 2, it not only gives a different feel to the piano sample, but as a listener, you're given a new element of surprise. And that's really important because I'm only using 6 sounds, so I have to make sure that each sound counts. So remember, keep being intentional about your sound selection and the way you structure out your beats. The right sound selection will make your beat sound full, and a good beat structure will make sure that your listener doesn't get bored. So now you should be able to make boom bap bangers using only 6 sounds. In case you get stuck putting your drums together or don't know where to start, make sure to check out my video on the 4 essential sounds for boom bap drums. Just click on the link above. With that being said, if you gained any type of insight from this video, please leave a like, please leave a comment. It's really gonna help the channel grow. I'm gonna catch you guys next week for a new video. Until then, stay blessed.